Hello guys, welcome to today's tutorial. In our previous tutorial, I taught you how to cut the front bodice of a corporate shirt. And in this tutorial today, I'll be teaching you how to cut the back yoke and the sleeve. Please, if you are yet to watch the video tutorial on how to cut the front part of the shirt, check the description for the link. Please, if you derive value from this video, ensure you like it to enable others benefit from this video as well. Also subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon so that you get notified on our new videos every week. Alright, let's get right into the tutorial for today. Alright, to cut the back of the shirt, remember we added ½ inch for button overlap, and also remember I said initially that when cutting the back, the center back is always placed at ½ inch away from the center front. I said the center back is placed ½ inch away from the center front. Remember that the center back is also unfold. To get the width of the back is just your chest measurement. What we have here is 10 1/4 inches. So the width of the back will now be 10 1/4 minus ½ inch, which is the button overlap. So it will bring us back to 9 3/4, which is chest divided by 4, 9 1/4 plus ½ inch seam allowance, 9 3/4. So we are eliminating the ½ inch overlap we added on the front on the back, so that it will be able to allow the front to overlap. That is what makes it a placket. If it doesn't have overlap and underlap, then it is not a placket. So what makes it a placket is the ability to overlap. Remember, it is not going to affect your chest because we added that ½ inch seam allowance. So to ensure that the center back begins ½ inch away from the center front, so on the center back, after taking your probably 10 inches or so from there, you fold the back. So you place your tape and you overlap it by ½ inch. Make sure it is 0.5 inch. The same thing, make sure it's 0.5 inch. Make sure is 0.5 inch. Ensure it is 0.5 inch. So now that we've done this, for the back yoke, we reduce the back by 2 inches and we get that line drawn straight. That's where our back bodice will stop. 2 inches. Ensure you're using your set square if you don't have the pattern master, so that this line will be straight. Alright, you can see that it has come back to the normal shoulder, which is 8.5. So by the time we cut the back yoke, which makes the back longer than the front, you will have allowance enough to give you seam allowance. So from this point, you still return this line back. So the back parts will be straight like this. So return it back straight this way. This is because the back part of our arm is fuller than the front part. So that's why we leave the back part straight. If you want to use your curve, you can also use your curve. So I'll be using this. So right now, I'm going to cut exactly on that line. So you lift it up and cut. So now, to cut the back yoke, mark 1 inch on the back bodice. That line. This 1 inch is your allowance to cut the back yoke. So I'll be cutting the back yoke on fold. So I'll measure it. So whatever I have here, I'll add up to 1.5 inches or 1 inch to it. So what I have here is 8.5. So I'm going to add 1 inch to it, which will give me 9.5. So on fold, I need 9.5 inches for my yoke. The yoke will also be on fold. This is almost 10 inches. I'll make it overlap the back by 1 inch, which is the 1 inch I wrote earlier. This 1 inch is the same allowance I've used to join the back yoke. I spread the front back. Now add 3 inches to the back shoulder line. If you're making it for a lady, you can add 2 to 2.5 inches as the case may be. But for the men, we usually use 3 inches. It enables the back to come down forward and the neck and the chest will sit properly. The shoulders tip, you extend the line at right angle with the shoulder slope. This is what it means. Right angle with the shoulder slope. So when that is done, you also bring this one back. So you try to bring it to align with the back at this point, but the extension first of all is done at right angle with the shoulder slope from the tip of the front shoulder to get the end of the back shoulder or the tip of the back shoulder. You place your ruler or your maybe set square or pattern master at right angle with the slope, and then you extend the line forward. To get the back neck, subtract 1/4 inch from the front neck, so your back begins 1/2 inch away from the neck down there, which is 6 inches. So you mark your 6 inches from there, and wherever that place stops, you bring it down and you mark 1/4 for your neck depth, 1/4 inch for the neck depth. So since you have 1/4 inch there, you also mark 1/4 inch and draw your neckline this way. There are 2 ways you can do it. This is the first method I'm showing you. So to get the back neck, mark 1/4 inch away from the front neck. This is because if you measure it at the same point, you have excess allowance at the back neck. So you subtract 1/4 inch, which is 0.2 inch, and then from there you mark, you measure to the tip of the shoulder, and then the tip of the back shoulder, you place your 6 inches and then get it there. So that's where the back neck will stop. So from that point, you rule a horizontal line like that, and then you measure the depth of the back neck, which is 1/4 inch. So from there you get the horizontal line of the neck. So on the horizontal line, you mark another 1/4 in order to complete the curve of the neck. So if you don't want to do this method of cutting the neck, you want to confirm if what you have done is correct, just as this point, which is above the cut the shoulder out this way. So when that is done, you align it, the back shoulder, align it to the front shoulder. So since that is done, like I explained earlier, if you cut the neck the same position you cut the front here, I have clipped. If you cut your back neck here, after sewing, when you join the neck from the shoulder tip, you have excess allowance here. So in order not to have that 1/4 excess that you have here, what you are going to do is from the front neck, mark 1/4 inward. That's on the back shoulder line. You mark 1/4. That is where the back neck will begin from. This will eliminate that the 1/4 inch excess you are supposed to have after sewing. So you draw your curve neatly down to the shoulder fold, down to the fold. So this is how your neckline should be. You also want to use your armhole curve. If you have them, you can use them. If you don't have them, use your free hand. Look for the suitable area you can use for your curve. So you can see the back shoulder tip is aligning with the front shoulder tip. So what we're going to do is to cut it. Down to that point. So open it up. So as you can see, it is just aligning, just a slight difference. It's aligning with the method which I have used before. This is how you cut the back yoke of your shirt. You are going to duplicate this. This will be cut 2 pieces. The sleeve length is 9 inches. 9 inches plus 2.5 inches will give us 11.5 inches. So on fold I have here 11.5 inches here on fold. So to get the width of the sleeve, now remember that our shoulder slope was 2 inches, and then the depth of our armhole was 658 inches, which is this. So add them together to give us 858 inches. On fold, what we need is 858 inches. So mark your 858 inches. You can approximate that to 8¾ if you like. Now, this is 11.5 inches. Our sleeve length is 9 inches. 9 inches, the seam allowance we need is basically half, but because of the type of seam finish we are going to use on the shoulder, we are going to add 1/4 inch to it. So basically our seam allowance is 3/4 inch, and then the remaining 1¾ inches to hem our sleeve. So I'm going to mark that out. This for our sleeve hemming. So these are 11.5 inches, the total width plus seam allowance and hemming allowance for the sleeve width. So to get the arm side, I use 5 inches usually for short sleeve to avoid the sleeve being slanty instead of being horizontal. Normally the sleeve is supposed to be horizontal, but sometimes when you see a sleeve hanging slantly like this, is because the arm side taking was very small. So for short sleeve for an adult, I basically use 5 inches for an adult. Then for children, I reduce it to 3 to 2.5 to 3 inches. It depends on the measurement. So but for adults, basically I use 5 inches. So from that point, I connect it to the shoulder tip, which is 11.5. So I'm going to divide this line, this diagonal line is 10 inches. I'm going to divide it by 4. So 10 divided by 2 is 5 inches. 5 inches divided by 2 is 2.5 inches. So right here I have 7.5, which is the same thing. So each of these division is 2.5 inches. So right now, call this point A, B, C, D, E. So point A remains the same. Point B, outer the line, I'll mark ½ inch. Point B. Then point C remains the same. Point D, mark ½ inch in the line on the sleeve block, on the sleeve right now. Point B is outside, point D is inside. So you connect this to this point, and then to this point. So if you want to use your free hand, you can also use your free hand to connect that. So from here, cut across that point. So if you want to use your curves, you can use them. You know how to manipulate and work with the curve. If you don't have it, you can use free hand like I did. So it's still the same answer. So for the width of the sleeve, we have 12.5, but I'm using 13 inches. Instead of 12.5, I'll add 1 inch, half. I'm using 13 inches. So sometimes you can do some little adjustment on the measurement if need be. I'm using 13 inches. So 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. Then you add ½ inch for your flat fed seam allowance. Add ½ inch. So you join it that way. Open it up at that point. So this is basically how the sleeve is cut. Remember the sleeve length is 9 inches. So 9 inches, we're using 3/4 inch as our seam allowance, which is this point, 9 inches plus 3/4 inch will give us 9 3/4 inches. Then the remaining 1 3/4 inches is for our hemming. This is 1 3/4. We're using it for hemming. So we added 2.5 inches total to the sleeve length. So when that is gotten, to get the width of the sleeve, your shoulder slope, which is 2 inches, plus your armhole depth, which is 6.58. Remember that, 6.58. So if you add the both of them, it will give us 8.58. So shoulder slope 2 inches, armhole depth 6.58. If you add them together, it will give us 8.58. So the width we're working with is 8.58. That's basically how our sleeve was folded. Remember the arm side, I said initially that for adult I use 5 inches, so that when the hands are kept straight, the sleeve can be horizontal. If you use anything less than maybe say 3 inches or 3.5 or even 4 inches, when the person is standing erect or standing straight, the hem of the sleeve will be slanty, the side seam, and that is not good like that. So that's how we got the 5 inches. And then for the cuff, I'm using 13 inches. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. So 6.5 inches plus ½ inch seam allowance to give us 7 inches. That's the 7 inches. So I'm going to mark, I'm going to cut this. Apart from this method, sometimes when you have your ready-made shirt, you notice that the back of the sleeve is usually wider at this point than the front. So in that case, this is what you do if you want to cut it like that, especially for women. So this is what you do. The back, connect it from point B. So point C comes up by 3/8 inch. So your line comes this way, which is the back. So while cutting, cut this way. So while cutting, you cut that way, then later you open it up and cut the front using the first notch. Divide it into two. So we have our sleeve, we have our back yoke, and then we have the front and back bodies.